Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Dan. It's the same old song with a different meaning since you've been gone.
Yeah.
But City 1-1 against lowly Fleetwood Town at St James Park. I was livid.
What a display. I wasn't there. First home game of missed this season.
You chose a good one to miss because flipping heck. Honestly. So it's one of those games where you're like, we look quite good here, in part.
Well, I was watching another game. I said last week I was watching the Super Hoops,
Good.
QPR.
Yeah.
And I saw the team lineup.
Yeah.
And I thought, this looks, solid.
Easter starting, Wood starting. You think that's good? That's what we want to see.
I would have liked to see... there's no Aitchison, was there?
No, that's right.
Was he on the bench? No, he wasn't on the bench. I'm guessing he's got a knock or something.
Guess so, yeah.
I was thinking, no Rankin in there. You got this Niskanen instead. But, I was optimistic. And I was like, okay, we get to see... Issa's there, get to see more of him. Or you get some minutes. Ryan Woods in with Carroll. Let's see what that's like. And then wasn't long before I got the notification.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of possession, right? Tell us what happened.
So, loads of possession. And to start with, I was like, oh, okay, we've got the first 5 minutes of kind of busyness. Looks good. Then we kind of reverted to type and passed it a lot. But actually, Woods seems like a good foil for Carroll because Carroll was pushing on and still inclined to turn a circle before he passes it. But, and we had, honestly, so much possession on the right-hand side, deep into their half. Kept going to Niskanen. Could he do anything with it? He could not. But you felt like, okay, this is forward play. Fleetwood looked terrible in that first half, like honestly terrible. There was gaps all over the pitch. Poor old Stockley looks a shadow of his former self. He looked puffed out after 5 minutes. Touched it maybe 2 or 3 times. No danger at all. And you just think, okay, all right, they're poor enough, and we can grow into this enough with this man Issa, with Woods and Carroll kind of pushing forwards. We're gonna get some stuff here.
Would you say they were there for the taking?
I'd absolutely say they were there for the taking, like a thing that needed to be taken.
Like a selection of books placed outside your house.
Yeah.
With a sign saying "free," please, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you ever indulge?
A book occasionally.
Would you look? Would you stop and look?
Yes, I would always stop and look.
Right, really? Proper stop.
You
wouldn't just kind of like look as you walk down, maybe slow down a little bit, see if there's anything you like. No.
Well, if you see like 50 Shades of Grey, you keep walking, don't you? If you see like Mrs. Miggins' cookbook, you don't even stop. If there's something that maybe looks interesting, you slow down, and then you see it's a shoot annual from 1988, and you can't believe how well your luck's in.
Yeah.
As a boy, a teenager, we would often scour the streets of Columpton. I say often, I can remember doing it twice. And when there was a free sofa, we would take it with us.
What are you doing with that?
We'd sit on it somewhere else.
Wow. Columpton in the 90s.
What an age to be alive. I remember once we put it on a zebra crossing and really annoyed some drivers.
Okay, that's good. That's good crack, yeah.
Sat on it. It's a bit of a battle of the wits then, isn't it? Who can move first? Remember one car drove round us.
Yeah.
Livid. Anyway, they were there for the taking.
Yes.
Like your nan's old sofa on the street. And we scored 20...
Have you ever had any success of giving away anything outside your house?
Yeah. Particularly in COVID, of course.
Well, of course, different times then. Wartime spirit.
What's the wartime spirit? And the...
Take it home, disinfect it.
The street... Change your clothes. The street WhatsApp group was ripe for taking. Yeah. But it's now descended into... Honestly, I'm not even exaggerating here. Someone trying to give away an old helium balloon.
Right.
Yeah. Sure, it could be reinflated, was the direct quote.
I'm not in my street's WhatsApp group, if one even exists.
Yeah.
Which it probably does, but I don't imagine it's that comprehensive. Lots of students on my road.
Okay,
I can't imagine they want to get too involved in it. But
no.
I'm a permanent resident, really, been there a long time, so if there is one, I would implore anyone listening, if you know me, you know where I live, no one's going to, this isn't going to work. This plea is going to go unanswered, but add me to the group.
All right. Do you want to be added to our group? It's the wrong end of town, but...
No, don't like people down there, that side of the river.
Fair enough. Well, if you're ever
They're
looking for a re-inflatable helium balloon...
Yeah, I'll just text you.
Text me.
And yeah.
Fine.
Okay, anyway, back to it. We score a goal.
We score a goal. Nicely worked.
Lovely pass from Sweeney, that.
Yeah, wasn't it? And
so Sweeney down the line, in behind to Cole.
Yeah.
Cole to the byline, cuts it across.
Yeah. I mean, they should have got rid of it, but Harper stood in the right place.
Vinnie Harper. First goal.
First professional goal.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Well, EFL. Does that mean he's not a professional before that?
Did he score in the... Where did he come from? I've forgotten.
Eastleigh.
Did he not score for Eastleigh?
No, I did. It's not in the EFL.
Well, that's true. Okay, so it's his first EFL goal.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, and you felt like, okay. And from then on, we had all the possession. I think they had one foray into our half and didn't even test the keeper. And you're just like, why aren't we? We should be shooting from range. We should be piling into the box. No, we'll play it to Niskanen, who will sometimes beat a man with his touch, will never beat the man with his cross.
Yeah.
And it's not like,
even the 10-minute highlights video first half is mainly just sort of Niskanen sort of trying to hit it into the box and it hitting the first defender every time.
I couldn't keep a count, but I'd be surprised if it was less than 10 times that happened.
Oof.
And you're like, but you take solace, don't you? Half time, you're 1-0 up. They look bobbins.
Yeah.
Have you been watching that Here We Go on the BBC?
I haven't. Someone's told me to watch it, but I've not.
He says the line, as bobbins as can be, and that's essentially the standard that Fleetwood were working at.
All right.
Charlie Adams, their manager, of course.
Yes.
And he makes all these changes at half-time.
He never played for Liverpool at St James Park. I don't know why I'm thinking I've seen him.
Okay. Blackpool, maybe, or Stoke.
Looked it up. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Adams there. First name Charlie. Do you trust him? Because it's singular Adam, isn't it?
No, you can't. You absolutely can't. Yeah.
Anyway, he makes all these changes. I think it was 3. Stockley's off. Danny Mayer comes on. I'd forgotten he was there.
Yeah.
And they...
Promise Cherry comes on.
Yes.
Great name.
And they are all over us. It's the reverse, but up 10 notches.
Yeah.
So it's all happening at the away end.
I tell you what. Again, I've only watched. When I got back not late from London, but I was telling myself I'm gonna watch the whole game back.
Right.
But then
I've never done that.
I just couldn't bring myself to do it. You know, I was like, life is too short for this.
Yeah.
I'd already seen QPR Rotherham, which wasn't the greatest game of football on earth, and you know, so I didn't watch it. You
saw Nombe score, of course. Did he score?
No, he didn't score. I
Set
think he might have got the assist.
Right, okay.
But I did see Sam. He didn't play particularly well, other than that.
Didn't he?
Anyway, I was thinking the second half, even from the highlights, looked like Fleetwood were like not only kind of really dominant, but also playing kind of very, very good possession football, and it almost looked like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do that. Really quick, almost like one-touch passages with real purpose, which led to kind of like, which really kind of like upset our midfield and back line, to a point where they was, they were penetrating, and and then it looked really. I was like, that would be good to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Now, I'm not saying I'd rather be in Fleetwood's position, because obviously they're much lower down than us even.
Yeah.
But just in the vacuum.
Yeah,
that was actually, I was thinking that this looked very good, and also the players they brought on, obviously, like some quality players to bring in. I don't know why people like Mayer and Cherry aren't starting.
I think Mayer come back from injury.
Maybe it's that. Yeah. So
I mean, you could tell within 5 minutes that we were in trouble. Probably 2 minutes, to be honest. It was straight away, and nothing happens. They're just all over us.
So 65 minutes, Cox comes on for Reece Cole.
Yeah.
And I guess not much happened with that.
Did he came on just before they scored, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then just after they scored, he brings on some more, and then some more. But it's too late. It was very clear.
Yeah. Odd substitutions to make when you've just... The opposition's just levelled against you at home.
Just to touch on the equaliser, they themselves could have had 3 or 4. They, in some very good positions, they skied one, maybe 1 or 2. In fact, you're like, I don't understand how he's hit it that badly from there.
Yeah.
They could have. Honestly, they were in the positions to. We could have been 2-1 behind after 10 minutes in that second half. Colwell sits on his hands.
So when the goal finally comes, Gary Wood, I keep calling him Gary Woods, Ryan Woods,
Yeah.
just sort of passes it to one of their players under no pressure.
So it's the same old thing, isn't it? City, I think it was from a corner. We had a couple of corners that we played poorly. Surprise, surprise. And it comes out to Woods, I think, after a few bobbling around bits, and he just passes it to him, and on the break they just put it away. And then Colwell brings off Woods for Purrington. He brings off Issa for Wildschut, and he swaps Diabate for Aimson.
Yeah.
Now, in
Czech
fairness,
was like frustrated with that, right?
Yeah, Czech was frustrated.
Booted something or something.
We were booing. Now, I personally wasn't.
You were booing.
I wasn't booing Aimson coming on. I couldn't believe those were the substitutions he was making.
Oh, right, okay.
Couldn't believe. Like, what the hell was he thinking? And I'd imagine he was about to do it before they scored and just ploughed on. Even if that was... I mean, I get something needed to happen, and Woods and Issa, particularly Issa, looked a bit puffed out. So I get why he needed to make changes. I get why he'd bring on Aimson as an extra bit of cover. But why he takes off Diabate, I've got no idea. No idea at all. And everyone's cross. And honestly, I don't think anyone was booing Aimson. And I don't think Aimson saw it as such. Because he comes on, and very quickly we have a corner. And he's trying to get the big bank going.
Oh, right.
And I thought, this is a man who's still committed to this process. So I don't think he took the booing as aimed at him. That would be my assessment. And I can't speak for everyone, but it felt like the anger was about the stupid substitutions.
Yeah.
Which are mental.
And well, you're drawing 1-1 at home against, are they bottom of the league or Fleetwood?
Yeah.
Lowly Fleetwood, and then you expect changes to be a bit more kind of assertive than that, don't you, Jimmy?
If at 55 minutes he'd reinforced the defence, you'd be like, I don't think that's the way to go, but I see why he's done it. But he reinforces the defence after the horse is out the stable door.
Well, also, so before the goal, he changed Reece Cole for Sonny Cox.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't seem like tightening things up.
No.
When you're 1-0 up.
No.
But the other team have reacted.
And the players knew it as well. Like Sinisalo at one point takes an age, goes down with an injury, doing the air quotes. It's obvious at that point, like they're struggling. They're well aware that they're struggling.
Yeah.
Nothing gets changed. And then what was happening was we were breaking. So we started to be able to break away as they're piling on for what was the equaliser. We start to get breaks. They kind of slowed down after the equaliser, and so we get more possession and we start bringing it out. But then he doesn't bring on Rankin.
Did he not come on? I was just about to check that. Rankin doesn't come on at all.
No. And Niskanen had a very poor game.
That's just weird, isn't it?
I would say it's mad. Anyway, we do get the ball in the net.
Yeah.
And you haven't been able to see that. You have. But it's not weirdly, it's not on the official highlights, is it?
Didn't put it on it's not even on the 10-minute highlights. That's quite weird. So I did find it in the full match replay just to see, but I couldn't really work out what's gone. I saw some people on Xweb saying it was that the ball had already gone out.
On the sideline.
Yeah, and it looked like to me, you can't really see, even on the kind of like the full match, that what the linesman's really... It looked to me like he was flagging for a goal kick.
Right.
Like, rather than offside.
Okay.
But they're very similar gestures, and they didn't actually get to see the bit where you could really tell the difference. So...
I do feel, by the way, I do find it annoying that we'll never know. Like, it's weird, isn't it, that referees can't be interviewed or...
I'm absolutely fine with it.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't care. You've seen what happens when they start to mess with what refs are and aren't allowed to do, and bringing in new initiatives. Leave it.
Oh, fair enough.
Our problems do not lie with officials.
Well, no, that's true.
We had the same officials when it was the same. type of officiating when we had that glorious couple of seasons where we got promoted and watched this brilliant football, well, exciting football, and had a great old time. The rest were no better or worse then.
That's certainly true.
Than they are now.
Yeah.
People start getting frustrated about other things because of there's some old boys or older lads booting off a bit. One there at the bottom of the big bank.
So I hear
the linesman and the stewards and whatnot. It's just it's a symptom of being frustrated at what you've seen every single week. You turn up every week. You pay into you're paying to watch Exeter City. Do you mean like some of these people buying like season tickets, right? A lot of these people, or you're paying over 20 quid a time.
Yeah.
Some people buying season tickets. I don't even buy a season ticket because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
In one go to be like I can't really, So I'm thinking I'd buy a half one or whatever. Like when it gets a bit cheaper. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's a big deal putting that much the amount of money you're putting into going to watch Exeter, and then I'm not saying you then are owed anything, but I just think what will happen is people are going to start getting frustrated naturally because of all those reasons, the time they put into it, the investment they have got emotionally to it. That when it's that bad, and what have we scored like 18 goals all season at home,
something like that. Yeah.
It's not. It's no wonder, is it, that things like that start happening. People get angry. People start booing things. Players get upset. Blokes get upset. Start shouting at officials. Start blaming officials. Start blaming anyone. It's going to happen, isn't it? And it's always going to be a thing. Someone in football always has to lose. I mean, there's always going to be bad teams. 4 teams have got to go down.
Yeah.
Is it 4? Whatever.
4, yeah.
Yeah. So there's always going to be that in football. I'm not saying we need to get rid of it because wouldn't work, but. It's just a thing. It's just an observation. That is what happens,
Well, of course, the frustration is
no goals. I think it almost boils down to only that single point.
Hardly any goals.
Because if we was, and that means we'd be playing in a different way if we were scoring more goals, But even if we were getting beat the same amount and had the same amount of points, if we just scored more goals, I think people would be happier because you need moments of happiness while you're watching it. Do you mean you need moments to go like, something to shout about, like and you're not getting it. You're not getting it, and it's just like, and that's the only reason anyone likes football really is for that exact feeling when the ball goes in to the other team's net. That's the good bit.
Yeah.
Everything else is anticipation of that, and there's other things to enjoy, but that's the main bit where it's like good.
Yeah.
And we haven't had it enough, and it's just like. You got to do something. Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What I would do would have been changed the manager last time we played Fleetwood. They didn't do that. They know this is what this comes down to. Do you mean? I'm not saying it would have been any different, but I don't know.
Well, of course, we as we've said, they hung on to him with the promise of better times in January when the new striker comes in. Well, as we knew, it was always going to be difficult to get exactly the right kind of player, i.e. Mo Issa seems like the right kind of player, but he's obviously not fully match fit.
It's not even just that. Having a striker wasn't the problem.
Well, no.
It was a problem, but it wasn't the problem, Like, it wasn't helping matters. Now we got someone who looks like, and I think he looks decent, do you mean? Like,
yeah.
But he's not getting enough service. The system doesn't work to create chances to score. Like you said, we had all that possession in the first half. We didn't create enough chances in that time. I think we had 6 shots in the whole match or something like that. It's not that simple. It isn't that simple that we just buy a striker and it's fine. I know we are missing. I think the absence of Dimitri Mitchell was more important than the fact that we didn't have than other things. He's someone who is will kind of take the bull by the horns a bit, will kind of go against the plan because he's just like, I want to make something happen here, and kind of got the ability to do it at least some of the time. So I know that's big, and that's not Corbell's fault that he got injured or whatever. Also, where's Milenic Ali? We're running out of season.
Yeah.
I know he's one for he might be one for the future or whatever, but I don't know. We need goals now.
Yeah, I agree. So it was a pretty depressing afternoon, to be honest. And I didn't stay for like the players coming round to clap.
Well, what's to clap?
What's to clap?
Who's clapping for a 1-1
Well, I
draw
believe
at
some
home
people
to
were.
Fleetwood? Well, stop it. Stop it. It doesn't mean you don't like the guys.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what people, I know
Yeah,
people
that's
go
how
like,
they see it.
they love the players and they've got a connection to them. And I get that. And they've met some, type of club it is. You probably met a lot of them. A lot of people you met them. Like, don't clap that. Yeah. I'm not saying boo them.
No.
Or anything like that. But don't. Why you stood there like clapping a 1-1 draw at home to Fleetwood under those circumstances?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, if Charlie Adam turns it round...
Just walk off and go home.
Yeah. It just makes you realise, like, changes can be made. Like, Charlie Adam wasn't the manager before this. I know he lives in Blackpool, so...
Does he?
Yeah, he's... Ever since he played there, I believe. So, obviously, that makes sense. But it just shows you, like... this old, like, well, who is their argument? There's loads of people. And actually, you don't have to be Pep to be useful to a League One team who are playing terrible football.
I think, to be honest, it helps if you're not.
Yeah.
That's what
Caldwell's trying to
do, and it doesn't work.
And in fairness to Charlie Adam, I don't know what he said to him at half-time, but he made some substitutions, and off they went,
Decisive action, isn't it? And it's it's an argument for doing it.
Yeah.
You want it down at half time, you try something else.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to experience that once in a while, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm just so... I really like... This must sound like a broken record to everyone who's listening. I imagine you all feel similar. Maybe you don't. But I just don't see an end to this. I imagine we'll probably survive this season. Probably. It's within the realms of possible. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know. I think we are getting dragged in.
We're certainly getting dragged in. One way or another.
And things tend to trend downwards. Like if you just got to look at where... Since Caldwell's been in charge, it seems to be long periods of absolute misery, punctuated by brief spells of something a little bit better.
Yeah,
we've just come out the other side of our short but good spell.
Yeah,
and you look at the fixtures that are coming up, we're about to talk about, and you think, yeah, we're going back in for another round of shit.
It's mad, though. So what I'm saying is, if we may avoid relegation this year, we may not. If we do, and Gary Caldwell stays, we'll almost certainly get relegated next year.
Yeah.
Like, almost certainly, because it's just a weak league this year. And you look at the potential promoted teams, and you look at the potential relegated teams, and you just feel like, okay, well, that's 5 or 6 teams.
Yeah.
That
the ones coming down now from the Championship, the 2 I went to watch at the weekend.
Yes.
You said, well, QPR may escape, but Rotherham definitely won't. They're 10 points adrift.
Yeah.
They're coming down. We know every time they're in League One, they're going back up.
Yeah.
Because it's just what they do.
Yeah.
The teams coming up.
You've got like Wrexham, Stockport, Chesterfield.
Stockport, Notts County. Are they knocking about? A big team.
Notts County, maybe not Chesterfield.
Yeah,
that's right. And you're just like, oh, this is... And there's been a particularly bad, as we said, even when we were terrible, we were still sat in mid-table, basically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't win for 100 games and we didn't even go in the relegation zone.
So
100 days.
I'm really very frustrated by the malaise of, oh, no, this is okay.
I know, but they keep getting let off the hook, don't they, by a couple of good results.
Yeah.
But you leave it so long, you're bound to get a couple of good results, aren't you, Anyway,
it's boring. We're bored with even saying it.
I know, but we just have to reflect what's going on, and what's going on is extremely boring,
Yeah. And Saturday was such an opportunity.
Well, yeah,
last week we were saying a few goals at home.
What we need is an emphatic home win, and there's not many opportunities for them.
No.
And that was kind of it.
It could perfectly well have been 3-0 at half-time. It really, genuinely could. I'm not exaggerating. I know I'm prone to it, but we had so much possession and they were so poor. There was every chance of getting a couple more goals. Didn't get them. Caldwell blames the players. And yet, half-time comes. Fleetwood are clearly a different proposition in the second half. No changes until it's too late. And there was a judgment on a potential goal, but that we just have easily they had a goal disallowed, and they could have had more. Yeah, grim. So that's that. So you were best off in London, I think.
Yeah, seems like it.
Right. Well, maybe we'll all move to London. We'll talk about that after this. Welcome back to the Big Bank Theory podcast. So it's Tuesday as we're recording, and there's some games tonight. In fact, everyone below us except for Reading's playing, right?
Yes. Some of them against each other, some of them against...
So City are in 14th, still played the most games out of anyone at the moment. But...
No, we've heard the same as Reading.
We have, sorry.
And Oxford and Portsmouth. But
my apologies. But anyway, there's quite a lot of games in hand below us. And there are 5 teams below us on 38 points. We're on 40. So some wins tonight and we're dropping further down the league. And it's worth saying that Cheltenham, who are currently 21st, which is the final relegation place, are on 33. So 7 points. But again, let's not forget, we've got a terrible goal average.
Yes.
So we're certainly not home and dry.
Absolutely not, no. And like I said... Look at the games we've got coming up.
Yeah.
So they're all playing tonight. We've got Peterborough on Saturday. They're not playing tonight.
Yeah.
They obviously we beat them.
Yeah.
At home, a couple of back in the old good days. 2-1.
Yeah.
They had a bit of a dip around that point. They've been having a good season. They're still up in 5th. Had a bit of a dip around when we played against them. They've won their last couple of games, both away from home.
So they're well on for the playoffs, aren't they?
Yeah, you'd imagine they'd be there or thereabouts. And yeah, so they've beaten, I think, Blackpool and
Cambridge Saturday, wasn't it?
In the last couple of matches. So they're in good form. They're in good away form.
But we've got to go there, and we're okay away.
We definitely seem to be a little bit better away, don't we, at the moment? But we're not, But I mean, we're in a bit of a slump, aren't we? Do you mean we tend to be kind of? It tends to not really matter, doesn't it? We're kind of on it, or we're not. We
seem to have about a 2-game. It's kind of the weekend ratio, isn't it? We have 2 games where we're okay, and then 5 games.
We haven't won
not.
3 games in a row, have we?
Is that right?
I don't think so.
Great. Yeah. I mean, like we said, if 50's the target for points. Well, if we'd won on Saturday, we would have been on 42. We're on 40 currently. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's no bother. Sometimes you're like, can't see where we're possibly getting a win from.
Well, yeah, and I worry less about the actual kind of like the number of like that of this amount of points will be fine or whatever. Even though if that may be true, what you're looking at, what you're worried about more is your form.
Yeah.
What people below you are doing,
yeah.
their form, and who we're playing.
Yeah.
So in the next... So we've got Peterborough on Saturday. After that, we've got Bolton at home.
Yeah.
Bolton be a 7-0 in the away fixture.
Yeah.
And are second, something like that?
They are... It's the third. Same points as second.
Yeah, so...
With a game in hand.
It's... You hope for the best, don't you? It's entirely possible that we get 0 points for the next 2 games, and then add on to that the fact that there's a round of everybody below us playing tonight.
Yeah.
So this time, a week on Saturday, I think this could look completely different.
No, I agree, and it's pretty disastrous. What's particularly frustrating is, yeah, you felt like we turned a corner, but like you said, the Coldwell model is you turn a corner and then you turn back in.
Like Tom Carroll on the ball, deep in her own half.
That's right.
Yeah.
You swerve to miss an old lady on the crossing, but you drive through the chip shop window.
Yeah. Have you done that, have you? Do you know what I'd do in that situation?
What?
Hit the old lady.
No, you would not.
Well, no, maybe. I don't know. Would I?
No, I don't think so.
I'm picturing the crossing on, coming up Old Tiverton Road there.
I was picturing that too.
Because that could happen. But then there is a sort of metal fence in the way, isn't there? So you wouldn't actually... You'd struggle to make it to the chip shop window. And I think if you did, you'd probably mean you're going way too fast.
I'd love to, fly headfirst into a pile of chips.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd
Like
love that.
Scrooge McDuck diving into his swimming
Yeah.
pool full of money.
I'd be like that, but a bit greasier,
Yeah.
but happier.
Well, then you just lie there, would you, like a pig eating the chips?
Certainly would. I mean, I'd use my hands. I wouldn't just like face first biting.
Well, I mean, why at this point? I'm going to be... You're lying in a swimming pool full of chips.
I didn't say swimming pool. I just said a pile.
A pile of chips, and you're going to go like, oh no, but don't worry, I'm using my hand. I'm using a knife and fork. You're lying in them.
Yeah, we got to keep some decorum, haven't you?
Oh yeah, what are you wearing at this point? Nothing. Nude.
No, it would be nude. Something with an elastic waistband, presumably.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Just to,
some leggings.
some jeggings.
You wearing some jeggings?
Yeah.
Lying in a pile of chips,
Yeah.
shirtless.
I just wear a bib. I'd have a shirt on, but a bib.
Right.
Because, chips can burn.
Yeah. This is screaming decorum.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the way forward.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather run over an old lady than do any of these things, and that is the definitive answer, actually.
And that's why one of us is better than the other, listeners.
Yeah.
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 We both know who that is.
So
there we are.
Collins and Randall again, the boys. Get
Yeah.
to see another look at Joel Randall looking mental.
Yeah.
Kevin Keegan hair, ankle socks,
Short shorts.
Spice Boy
Yeah.
extraordinaire.
Yeah, he'll score a hat-trick.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully, I don't know, Milenic Ali,
Seems unlikely.
play him, give him a run out.
You got to see Rankin over Niskanen. I don't understand this persistence. Woods
Yeah.
and Carroll did look like there was something about them for half an hour.
What's happened to Harris? You kind of worry, don't you, that like you've got
Yeah.
this fella who's like so highly rated by a Premier League team that they've kind of like signed him to like a big deal. He's like Wales had already kind of like he's already involved in the kind of
Right, is he?
Wales first team setup. I'm thinking, and like he comes to Exeter City under Colwell, and he just turns into this kind of like useless bag of trash. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
he looked bright for about the first half an hour that he was here,
That's all it takes.
and then it's just like, what has become of him? And I think like if Colwell does stick around next year, like, who's going to want to loan us? Who's going to want to loan us any players? So like, develop him into a shitter footballer.
Yeah. It's the Exeter.
Don't like the model, but that's a conversation for another time, isn't it? But like the kind of like, oh, you look after this. Yeah, I'm a bit against Premier League loans. I think.
I mean, the problem is you look at our squad, you look at our starting lineup. Issa signed till the end of the season. Wildschut signed to the end of the season. Harris on loan till the end of the season. Cox, he's ours, fine.
Purrington,
Rankin,
end of the season.
Purrington, end of the season. Rankin on loan till the end of the season. Woods is ours. Carroll's only signed to the end of the season. Czech's ours. Ameson's not going to want to hang around.
No,
I don't know.
Hartridge is want away supposedly,
And his contract ends.
and Kite.
And Kite.
They'll both go for nothing as well because they're over the age.
There's others I've missed. Oh, Sinisalo, obviously.
Yeah.
So then you're left with, I mean, who? I mean, I realise there's a few there.
Oh, the Admiral will go back as well.
Yeah, he's sailed to and forth more than.
I really thought he was going to be coming back, and like I thought he'd be the hero of this Fleetwood home game. No sign of him.
Imagine we stay up because Musgrave scores on the final game of the season.
Oh, I'd love it.
Falls over and he's injured himself and it bounces off him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so suddenly you're like, what's this like for next season?
I know. I mean, don't say it. Well, we've got other podcasts before now and the end of the season to talk
We'll
about
go
this.
through all that stuff, won't we?
But yeah, I mean, at a glance, it's a little bit troubling, isn't it? Like to think.
Yeah. Because we've always had a core since the COVID year, if not before, of 6 or 7 first-team players who've come through the academy who are committed to the club one way or another.
I mean, you kind of think, like, if we're going to just be this bad anyway,
let them all go and bring in Billington and
like you might as well
Borges.
just start Hartridge and Kite in every match because it's like
Yeah.
it's not really making any difference that they're not, is it?
No. And like what's happened to Borges and what's happened to
Well, he went off on. He's just gone on loan to
why
someone.
and Richards and like I just don't. There's no sense to the process.
No, well, if there is, it's difficult to see what it is. It's a real kind of jumble of a season of this kind of what's the approach here. I mean, I don't mean on the pitch. I think we all very much know what the approach there is. I just mean like, I mean, what is the approach in terms of like the managing of the club?
How's this going to be better in a year's time?
Yeah,
because
maybe we're wrong. We need to find some sort of positives for this episode, really.
Well, the positives are we got a point. The positives are we've hit 40 points. The positives are people are still turning out. And that first half an hour, Niskanen aside, it looked very lively. We should have finished it off. This would be an entire, obviously, but we could very easily have been 2-0 up at half-time. Like, that doesn't take a great leap of the imagination. And then Fleet would have felt it was a step too far. And Charlie Adams thinking, well, I'll keep my best players till next week. But at 1-0, he obviously felt like there was something worth going for. They never really looked like going for the win, bizarrely.
Right.
They could have had us. So that's the positive. I don't understand his substitutions. I don't understand how Niskanen's still getting a game over Rankin or over Wildschut, to be honest.
Well, yeah. Do something like that, or I don't know what, yeah.
Or Kite. Or, there's options.
Shift things around. I mean, you do wonder, don't you, that the quality of our, we haven't quite got enough to play through the lines down the middle because there's not really that creative kind of person in the squad.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of rely on the wings, but the delivery from the wings is poor. You kind of wonder, given the setup that we've got, which doesn't involve. I mean, I guess in certain circumstances the wing backs have got to cover a lot of ground, but it's kind of reasonably well covered, I'd say. And I think like could do with a sort of Jack Sparks sort of type player, couldn't you?
Don't say it.
I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could even not be. It could he not been? When we were using Zach Jules basically in that position, and he's not someone who's going to be up and down like. Sparks has kind of got as good a delivery as anybody, like better than anyone in our squad. I suggest. Yeah. I mean, Sweeney's got a good cross on him, but
Sweeney and Cole obviously, but Sparks is coming in from the side.
Anyway, that's that's in the past, So
that ship sailed with the.
I was trying to find some positives, but I can't find any. I don't know.
My gut feeling is we'll sneak to safety by accident more than design.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that. Yeah, I mean,
my concern is that's held up as a triumph.
Yeah, and we also don't want to sleepwalk into that. No. I don't like that being the thing that people believe, because that kind of belief in this setup is what's kept things the way they are all of this season. When change could have been made, could have, and maybe should have been. But yeah, we may well do, but that is more because of how bad some of these teams in this division are.
Yeah, that's right.
But Fleetwood, by the looks of things, made us look bad the other day, and they are second bottom.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good.
There we are.
Peterborough and Bolton coming up.
Yeah. All right.
Good news.
And then there's when's the weekday Shrewsbury away? Is that the week after?
Weekday Shrewsbury away.
I forget. That's after Bolton, I think.
Yeah, that's 12th of March.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's after the Bolton game.
So we'll be back next week to talk about the Peterborough game, and then it's a 2-game week.
Yes.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week to hopefully.
Oh, next week's one's going to be full of positives. I know we're going to be laughing at Archie Collins.
Yeah. Chuckling away at Joel Randall.
Pissing ourselves at Randall.
Yeah.
And
yeah, laughing all the way to 43 points. Come on.
And talking about Milenic Ali's great assist for Admiral Musgrave's bicycle kick. Actually, I don't think Milenic Ali's ever assisted in his whole career, has he?
Oh, has he not?
Something like that.
Oh,
anyway.
Good signing.
Good time to start. Good as time as any to change that.
Do you remember that Robbie Williams song, Millennium?
Yeah.
Talk about cashing in on the times.
Well, good marketing.
sense.
What's that? What is that sample?
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
a
What's
sample
that?
of something, isn't it?
Yeah,
What is it?
don't know.
Come on.
I don't know. I know it's rubbish.
I mean, you know, yeah, it's rubbish, but it's a pretty big song, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah, what's he gonna do next? Like,
Well, not for now. Is he not doing anything now? Is he? I mean, when's the next big? You know, when's the next millennium?
good question. If Robbie Williams,
Will he still be around?
if pop music's still a thing at the next millennium, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Be something else.
From the second studio album, I've Been Expecting You. I thought it was a sample, but maybe not. Oh, Guy Chambers, one of Guy Chambers' ones. Oh yeah, it's an arrangement borrowed. The song borrows heavily from musical arrangement of John Barry's "You Only Live Twice," of course, from
James
James
Bond.
Bond,
There you go.
re-recorded in a different key. That's to save money.
That could be Admiral Musquay's song. Actually, you only play twice.
You could sing, you could chant that. Yeah.
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 Musquay.
No, you just chant the whole bit,
Oh right, yeah.
the whole string section. Oi!
All right. Something to think about.
Be better than that Kaiser Chiefs one we were doing about Matt Taylor.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for listening, Admiral Musquay. Good luck with your...
Thanks for listening, Robbie Williams.
Yeah. We've been expecting you. Well, I was John here, my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.